Will.
Yeah, Bob.
Whoa, this isn't live.
Yeah, no, we're back to doing a pre-recorded thing.
We just saw Suicide Squad.
We did.
And we're going to tell you all about what we thought.
Yep.
So, what we usually do,
Mm-hmm.
going to go a few minutes, zero spoilers.
Right.
Then we're going to dive into spoilers.
Yes.
And we'll let you know. We'll hold up a hand. We'll say, stop watching this if you want to go watch it yourself. So let's go.
Okay.
I did not like a lot of that movie.
No?
No, I did not.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was like, this is my face for a lot of that movie. What about you? You still trying to figure it out?
Well, okay, here's the thing. More or less. I know this is not a good movie.
Yes.
It has a lot of problems, a lot of structural problems, a lot of plot problems, But like while I was watching it, I was enjoying moments of it.
Okay.
I found myself enjoying this a lot more than I did Batman vs Superman, and a lot more even than Man of Steel when I first saw that.
See, I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I enjoyed a lot of the moments. I enjoyed a lot of moments in Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
And I remember liking all of Man of Steel. I remember leaving that and being like, that was good.
Yeah.
This, from the beginning all the way to like pretty much the very end, I was like, not having this.
Yeah.
There were parts where I was like, all right, I'll give them this.
Yeah.
But for most of it, I was very down on it. The very, very end, I actually liked. But we'll get into that when we get to spoilers.
The movie felt like it went at a very fast pace. Like it didn't stop for anything. It was
exactly
like one thing, then the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing.
And that's how I felt with Batman vs Superman, but this was worse.
See, to me,
it was worse with pacing.
See, to me, it actually helped because there was always something happening. It didn't make sense, but at least like things were happening. In Batman vs Superman, there were a lot of scenes of Superman looking sad, and then Batman looking angry, and then Superman looking sad, and then Congress being angry.
It was a lot of like action porn.
Yeah,
but it goes back to you saw the video, the scenes versus moments or whatever. That Batman vs Superman had moments, it didn't have scenes.
Right, and this is the same thing.
There were no scenes. I mean, there were no shots in this movie that lasted more than 5 seconds to me that I saw. And they cut all the time. Even conversations, cuts one person, the other person, the other, over and over again. This movie was just at 11 the whole time. So nothing had any weight to it.
You can definitely tell that this is a movie that had behind-the-scenes problems. You can tell that it was trying to serve two masters. It was trying to be David Ayer's version, and it was trying to be the Warner Brothers version.
I can totally tell. And like, I was of the mind that the reshoots were not for lightening things up.
Yeah.
You can totally tell that the editing, because it was edited by the people who did the trailer, you could totally tell that they edited it to be more lighthearted.
Right, but then, not to get into spoilers just yet, but there's like a couple scenes at the end that are very like serious and very not played for any sort of levity. It's trying to like be dark and like have all the weight on the world.
And those were good. I enjoyed those parts at the end.
Yeah.
But you immediately got ripped out of that with like this like campy music.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot, because it was edited by the same people who made that trailer, they were like, we liked that trailer, do that again with the whole movie. So the whole movie is basically just montages to hip music.
It definitely felt like
it was like really weird.
It definitely felt like a bunch of music videos strung together.
It was very bizarre. But like I said, visual porn, some of it, there were cool things happening, but the performances for the most part were all right. Again, I would like to be able to chalk it up to editing, because like I would like to believe that Will Smith had better cuts than what ended up in the film.
I think of all the cast members, Will Smith definitely, it felt like he was being more Will Smith than he was Deadshot.
Those are lies. I didn't kill anybody. That's my Deadshot impression. Hey, we the bad guys. He said that like 3 times.
He did.
They had to keep reminding you, we're the bad people. We're not good.
like I said, the movie is not perfect, and I would hesitate to call it good. But I think overall, like, to me at least, it was just okay. It was a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I heard all the horror stories.
I was expecting it to be better because
Yeah.
I enjoyed Batman vs Superman. Well, I
Right.
mean, while I was in the theater, I enjoyed it. Afterwards, it all clicked what all the problems were, but I still thought it was an okay movie.
Yeah.
This, I came out and I was like, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was a bad movie because I have so many questions. Why is this character doing this? Why is this happening?
Yeah.
And Batman vs Superman, I was just thinking, why isn't Superman doing anything?
Well,
it was all my problems were with Superman for the most part. In this movie, all of the characters, their motivations should have been elsewhere.
Well, because this movie suffered from a similar problem to Batman vs Superman in that they just expect you to know these characters and to just get these references,
Right.
Right off the bat. We went with my fiance, and she knows nothing about Amanda Waller. So all the time she's like, why did people hate her? And I'm like, wait till the end of the movie so I can explain to you 30 years of comic book stuff.
Right. And I understand that because people have said over and over again, we don't want backstory. We don't want backstory. In this case, we need some backstory.
Well, not just backstory, because they give us backstory for the entire Suicide Squad.
Well, that's the thing. They gave us backstory for some of them, not all of them, and they spread out that backstory throughout the whole movie.
Well, there's a difference between backstory and just motivation. And Amanda Waller didn't really have motivation other than, she's a hard ass.
Well,
that was it.
I mean, she's trying to do right by the country.
Yeah.
She's playing the evil, politician type person.
Mm-hmm.
The evil government person, I should say. You get bits and pieces of people's backstory, which leads up to their motivation for some parts. You never really get a sense of why they're trying to help. Like there's this like camaraderie that builds.
Yeah.
But like it's unclear why certain ones of them, certain people in the Suicide Squad and even people who are part of the task force or whatever shouldn't have wanted to do certain things that they were doing.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to get into spoilers because I have a lot of specifics I want to get on with that.
Do you want to get into spoilers now then, or
is there anything else to say?
I mean,
I feel like we can go more.
You said some of the performances were okay.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about Jared Leto's Joker? Because I'm sure everybody wants to know about that.
Yeah, I think we should.
Without spoilering it yet. Spoilering it. I think he was all right, but like, why has he got to laugh every 5 seconds? That was not a good laugh.
That was an awful laugh.
You've
heard it in the commercials. It's just like a
and it's every time he's in it. He's in the movie.
I mean,
and you said that he got cut. A lot of his stuff
I just
got
read
cut.
something on Twitter like a lot of his scenes got cut.
I thought he was going to be in the movie a lot less, to be honest.
Yeah,
but he wasn't in it that much.
Yeah, he wasn't in it that much, and also too, he's a very weak Joker. Like there was really no like menace to him. Like you didn't feel like threatened by him. He was just more of a nuisance than anything else.
I kind of felt like, because in this he's kind of more of like a mobster.
Yeah,
which is fine. Like I kind of liked the idea of him in this movie. I didn't like a lot of his lines were cheesy.
Yeah,
a lot of the laughing was but like when he's put together with certain characters, you can see the fear in them.
Yeah, but again, that all goes back to, he's the Joker. You should know who he is.
There needs to be a scene or something where he does something really messed up where you're like, this guy's not a joke. Get a Joker.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that. There was just like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, but like he didn't
and everybody else knows he's crazy.
He didn't really do anything to like show that he's crazy. He manipulated Harley Quinn, yeah. But, I mean, aside from that, there wasn't really anything else.
Right. I think now we can get into spoilers. Now we touched on all
right, so
spoilers are happening right now.
We are spoiling the movie. Turn it off now if you don't want to hear. But don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, and share this with your friends who liked the movie or didn't like the movie.
Yeah.
Because we like to talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
So, right smack in the beginning, or was it in the beginning? I don't know. Deadshot's origin.
Yeah.
Batman's there.
Uh-huh.
In what world would Batman arrest Deadshot in front of his daughter? In what world?
There was an episode of the animated series where he beats up a guy in front of his kids, and Robin's like, "We can't do this in front of the kids." So like that's happened.
Yeah, that wasn't like there was like
It was done.
It was in an alleyway. It's like, dude, this is your origin. This is your one weakness. Why are you doing this to somebody else?
That's true. That was a little messed up.
I like that doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah.
But every time Batman was on screen, I was like, this is
that
awesome.
was nice. And in case you don't know, there is a cameo by the Flash. I was really happy
That
to see
was
that
awesome.
because Captain Boomerang is a Flash villain, so I'm glad.
All right,
they stuck
Captain
that
Boomerang. When they're in the bar,
Yeah.
when they're like, all right, you guys
You're free to go.
You're free to go. Captain Boomerang gets up and runs out. That was awesome. That whole bar scene, I actually really like that because it's showing you their motivations.
It's showing you character development.
Exactly. It's showing you exactly why each one of them are there or why they want to leave or whatever. And that was awesome. Captain Boomerang gets up and runs the hell out of there. And I was like, that's awesome. That's exactly what his character would do. But next scene, he's there with them. Why? How? What?
Yeah. There were a lot of scenes. Like, there's a scene where Harley Quinn escapes with the Joker on a helicopter, and the helicopter blows up. But what the Suicide Squad doesn't see, they see the helicopter blowing up, but they don't see Harley Quinn escaping. So they think she's dead.
Right.
And then meanwhile, when they go back on the street, they just see Harley Quinn sitting there, and they're like, you're all right.
For that, I took that as like, oh, of course she's fine.
Yeah.
This is a comic. This might as well just be a comic book movie.
Can I just say something right off the bat? You brought that up. I hate that phrase. It's just a comic book movie. Because what that basically says is this movie is not as important as any other movie. You know, you're devaluing comics when you say that, and you're devaluing the movie.
For the record, I'm saying the people in the movie are saying that, like, oh, this is ridiculous,
But they shouldn't.
I'm not devaluing the movie, saying it's a comic book
Nobody
movie. Some of my favorite movies are comic book movies.
Nobody should be saying that.
Right. I agree.
Nobody in the movie, nobody making the movie, nobody watching the movie.
I agree. Because you can have an artful, amazing comic book movie. And this could have been that. I honestly think that with all the things given, this could have been that type of movie.
There
definitely
was like something in this movie. But like I said, you can tell that, there were two people trying to like edit this movie to make one product to sell, and both voices are being heard in the movie.
Yeah. It was pushed and pulled a lot of different ways, and it never made it to any corner.
Yeah.
What's another moment? Oh, Katana going into the bar with them to hang out.
Yeah,
you're not part of them.
Katana in this movie works for Rick Flag. She's not a part of the Suicide Squad.
She's a good guy.
Yeah. She's a clear good guy.
Yeah, and then she just abandons them and hangs out with the bad guys.
Yeah.
Like, unclear motivation.
I think that was supposed to show that she was mad at Rick Flag for not explaining the whole situation to her.
Yeah, which again, like, it took you a million. That's another like trope where this could be avoided if you would just talk to each other. But yes, in the bar, they explained all of they aired all of their grievances. There was even a part where there was zero music at all, and zero sounds happening in the background, and that was cool because there was a lot of anger being thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot. The whole movie was just one-liner after one-liner.
I didn't think so.
A lot of the dialogue was just trash.
There was a lot of dialogue that was like, I guess you could say trailer bait, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's like one-liner after one-liner. It was
Harley Quinn's crazy. I'm off my meds today. Like, I get it.
Yeah, but Margot Robbie played that really well. Like, she was like perfect in the role.
She did good. She exaggerated the like Brooklyn accent every once in a while, but I think that's fine.
Yeah, no, that fit. Yeah. She's fine. No, like, if you ask me, like,
just put some pants on her.
That would. I will say, spoiler alert, again, you should know that already. There is a scene where you see Harley Quinn and the Joker like hanging out in like a black room or whatever, and Harley Quinn is wearing the classic, Jester outfit.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was cool. That was weird to see in live action, but that was cool to see. I was like, yeah.
It reminded me of Alex Ross.
Yeah.
Like an Alex Ross
It was.
painting that
It
I've
did look
seen.
like that Alex Ross painting.
Yeah. Well, that was awesome. That's why it didn't like trigger in my brain, but I was like, this is familiar.
Yeah.
But that's why it's familiar.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Their relationship, I think, I mean, very bizarre, but that's good.
Yeah.
It's good that it's bizarre.
That was their relationship. Like, they got their relationship pretty much exactly. I mean, Jared Leto's Joker might not have been the best Joker, but in terms of the Harley Joker dynamic, like, that was it. They got it.
It was ruined by the lighthearted nature of the editing and everything around before and after those parts. Because that should be, you should feel bad for Harley for being in that situation.
You should, but at the same time, it gives you a clear sense that, like, this is her choice. She wants this. The movie never portrayed it as like she's the victim. It portrayed it as something that, like, she wants this to happen.
Well, a lot of, like, even the animated series where she was born from, you see, like, this is what she wants, but she could be like, deep down she's like, things could be different.
Well,
and Batman tries to play on that a lot.
Yeah, well, because Batman keeps trying to save her. But in the animated series, like, it showed the Joker go back and forth. Sometimes the Joker, really does love Harley. Sometimes the Joker
is a psychopath,
needs to be alone,
and that's good.
This movie went with this Joker clearly loves her angle of it. There was no hint of, like, he's abusive or anything like that.
I mean,
he tortures her, yes, but she's she says, like, she can take it.
There's the part where the car goes into the water. Joker's car the whole chase. It's in the trailer.
Yeah.
The car goes into the water. Batman jumps in afterwards. Joker gone.
Yeah.
Joker immediately out. Maybe he thinks Batman's gonna save her. Whatever.
Mm-hmm. But then the Joker spends the whole movie trying to get her back.
Right.
Yeah.
But I took that as that moment she's expendable to you. You're crazy because you could have killed her then. Yeah. I think that their relationship in this movie was flip-floppy. And, there's the part in the club where he's, like, basically making her bang all these dudes.
Yeah. Well, like, she doesn't.
Right.
And their relationship is flip-floppy.
Totally fine, but that's sad and dark.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it shouldn't be like that. It should be like that. It should be darker, I think. But you can't, play this, like, cool rock music around, like, oh my God, my life is a tragedy. You gotta make it a tragedy or not a tragedy.
Right.
I do really like the Joker being a mobster and, like, doing, like, heists and stuff. I thought that was awesome. That was spot on.
Yeah, that was cool. There's a scene where the Joker, like, because the whole thing in the Suicide Squad is they get, bombs in their neck. So if they disobey, they die. And the Joker goes to the scientists who created those bombs. That whole scene was awesome.
He is intimidating. Like, when he goes up against somebody else to, like, get information or something, the other, that they're shaking in their boots, but you don't really know why.
Yeah, like, they don't really show him, because, like, you compare it to the Dark Knight, they show the Joker, be crazy and like why people are afraid of him. So this one, they just show him pretty much just sit down at chairs and, like, say things and stuff.
He's just intimidating. Yeah. There's no actually, like, anything to back that.
Mm-hmm. So,
what other that's the thing, like, there were other characters in the Suicide Squad that they just pushed aside because, like, they know that you aren't really gonna care about them. Yeah. Who's the dude who can climb?
Slipknot. Stuff? Yeah,
Slipknot. So there was rumors that he was gonna die immediately.
Yeah, because you see him in, like, the original shot of the Suicide Squad, the cast shot.
But he's not in
any trailer. He's not in any of the posters.
Yeah. So everybody knew that he's gonna get the one to get his head blown off first.
He's literally in the movie for 5 minutes. He's introduced, and then he gets his head blown off
because he's a B character. And yeah, so that whole time when Captain Boomerang was like, "Hey, let's get out of here," I was like, "He's getting his head blown off."
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what happened. I was like, "There it is, cool." Now everybody knows. Don't do that. Yeah. I guess they kind of had to do that.
They do have to. the animated film Assault on Arkham, which was essentially a Suicide Squad movie, does the same thing and it does it better.
How do they do it?
I forgot who it is that that gets blown up, but Amanda Waller says if she does the whole spiel, and the one guy's like, "I don't believe you. I'm just gonna leave now," and then she does it right there. And they show it. It's not like a PG-13ified version,
right? I do like Amanda Waller. I think she was good.
She was excellent. She was better than I thought she was gonna be.
Yeah, I got her motivation. I mean, why the hell was she in the city when this was all going down?
That confused me.
She killed those like FBI dudes, like straight up?
Yeah, no, that scene made no sense to me.
That was just to show that she's a bad person, but that's too much. Like there was no weight to that when she killed those people.
Because the scene it didn't make sense. It just happened.
There was no build up or anything. It just happened.
That was like the weirdest twist I'd ever seen in a movie.
Yeah.
It was in case you're wondering, the whole thing is they got to get to not the building Enchantress is in, but a different building to go rescue somebody. But it turns out, because Rick Flag goes in alone, and it turns out the person they're going to rescue is Amanda Waller and her team,
who has been
monitoring them the whole time.
And she has Enchantress's heart with her in the. Why would you bring it there? Why would you bring it there? That's dumb. They just kept fueling the fire the whole movie.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the trope of there's this thing shooting into the sky, death is swirling around it, giant light beam. You gotta fight whatever's at the base of it. And that's what they did. They sure did. And Enchantress is almighty, all powerful. Even at she's fighting them and doing all this cool stuff. At the very end, she goes enough and takes all their weapons.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just do that? Why didn't you just do that in the beginning?
Yeah.
And I understand, there's stuff like this that happens in every comic book movie. Why didn't this just happen? But it's usually minimal. In this,
there was a lot.
There was a whole lot of that. There's a whole lot of questions I had in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, not all of the characters were fleshed out enough. There was not enough personality being thrown around.
Yeah. They definitely did suffer from too many characters.
Yes.
More than a lot of other movies of this type.
There was supposed to be some sort of relationship between Deadshot and Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Which was kind of building, and you kind of saw that.
But it doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't really go anywhere. Yeah. I do like how it ends with them all back in jail.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
that's...
I want to get out, I want to do this, I want to do that, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, too bad. Whoop.
Yeah.
Because it's supposed to be sad.
Yeah.
And that was your little taste of that.
I feel like they're going to try and do, with Batman vs. Superman, where they released the Ultimate Edition. I feel like on DVD we're going to get, David Ayer's cut.
I honestly think it's going to be good. That's going to be good.
Yeah, it'll probably definitely be more coherent.
But then I got to watch it again.
I know.
I feel like this would have made a great comic book and or video game.
It did make a great comic book.
You're right. Was that the same bad guy in the comic book? Was it Enchantress?
No. I mean, Suicide Squad has gone through so many iterations.
Right, but did this exact storyline happen?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't even think, because the original team was Boomerang, Deadshot, Rick Flag. Harley Quinn is not an original Suicide Squad member.
Right.
I don't think El Diablo is either.
Killer Croc?
No, it was supposed to be I forget his name's King Shark or Great White Shark. It's supposed to be him, but they because David Ayer is inexperienced with CGI, so they use Killer Croc because they can prosthetics.
I respect that.
Yeah, especially because there's a lot of really bad CGI in this movie.
There was. I think it would have made a great video game. You got all the minions.
Yeah.
Leading up to a big boss battle at the end. You got all these different characters you can play as. You got, bullets galore.
Apparently there is an iOS first-person shooter Suicide Squad game, and it's terrible.
God. Why would they do that?
I'm not disagreeing with you. This movie has a lot of problems. And under normal circumstances, I would be right there with you saying, it's bad. but I didn't feel that way watching the movie.
Right.
I think because the movie is like just over 2 hours. It's a lot shorter than a lot of the movies of the genre. Batman vs Superman, the theatrical version, was 2.5, and the Ultimate Edition was 3, and I sat through that whole thing.
Right.
So I think because it was short and because it moved so fast, and that there was always something to see on screen, there was always something happening, it didn't bother me as much as Batman vs Superman,
Right.
where long stretches were happening where nothing's going on, or when something is going on, it's counter to what I know of those characters.
See,
nothing in this movie, with the exception of the Joker, ran counter to what I know of these characters.
I needed a breather every once in a while.
Yeah.
In most good movies,
Yeah.
you have moments where you're just winding the tension.
Yeah.
And like long shots of just something cool on the screen.
Yeah.
Like cherish the cool thing that's happening,
Mhm.
and don't, whatever you do, point out the cool thing that's happening.
Yeah.
And try to tell us it's cool while
Yeah.
it's happening or after it happens. You can do it. You maybe get one in a movie.
Yeah.
Like the Marvel movies do that, but when they do, that's because they're confident and they know that's cool. You can't just especially with the DC movies coming out the way they are.
Yeah.
You can't just be like, check out what we just did. Can you
Yeah.
believe it?
It makes me wonder, because David Ayer is a great director. He's done some really good films. He's done Harsh Times, End of Watch, Fury. He's also written a whole bunch of good stuff like Training Day and the original Fast and the Furious movie. So he knows his stuff. This definitely, like, all the problems in this movie, you can definitely attribute to Warner Brothers reacting to Batman vs Superman.
I think a lot of it was editing. I think a lot of it was very poorly edited.
But now this makes me afraid for Wonder Woman, which I have so high hopes for.
Right.
And
I would be very afraid.
Yeah. And I mean, this is confirming my fear of Justice League, because they show the trailer. Oh, there are jokes and it's set to, a popular song or whatever. That definitely sounds like how Warner Brothers reacted to this.
I mean, if they go into it trying to make a Civil War type movie, trying to make an Avengers type movie, maybe it'll be better. But this movie, they came in trying to make a dark movie.
Yeah, and then they added all this other.
They tried to flip it around, and it didn't work out well. But yeah, Wonder Woman, I saw it on the screen when they did the trailer, and I was like more into it than I was previously.
Yeah, that was a different trailer. That was cut differently.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That explains why I enjoyed that more than I liked it before.
Yeah, you still got the shot of that one Nazi like smashing his gun over her and breaking it in half.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be badass seeing a woman beating the hell out of a million dudes like that on a big screen. A whole movie of just a woman being badass. Yeah, that's gonna be good.
That's gonna be awesome.
But it might not be a great movie.
Yeah, I'm hoping.
So overall,
I'm
gonna say not a good movie. Could be fixed in a different cut.
Yeah. I'm gonna stand firm and say that it is okay. I did not hate it. I know it has problems. I know it has a lot of problems, but for what it's worth, I enjoyed what I saw. That may change on a second viewing. I don't know.
See, I felt the same way about Batman vs Superman because I wanted to know what was going to happen next.
Right.
Every few scenes, I was like, what's going to happen next? This movie, I was like, I was just completely uninvested.
Well, I mean, because there have been other movies, like Star Trek Into Darkness is a perfect example. Watching that movie, I was enjoying myself. Second I left the theater, wait, no, that's wrong. That doesn't make sense.
That's how I felt about Batman vs Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I get that. But, I'm home now from Suicide Squad. I've had some time to think about it, and I've had some time talking it out with you. And I don't feel that. I don't, I'm not, my opinion of it isn't lowering.
I think you're feeling for what could have been of the movie, not what it is right now.
I expected a lot worse.
Yeah?
Yeah, I expected a lot worse.
I didn't. I expected, because I knew that people didn't like Batman vs Superman going into it, and I enjoyed it. So people didn't like this. I was expecting it to be at least that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for me.
Yeah. So I think I'm just, because I'd been, getting more and more disappointed with each passing movie. And now they surprised me and this was just okay. But at the same time, we're 3 movies into the DC cinematic universe, and okay is not cutting it.
Right.
Like, at this point, Wonder Woman can't be okay. It can't even be good. It needs to be great. So, and I'm not just saying that, like it needs to be great in order for me to enjoy it. It needs to be great if this franchise is going to succeed and potentially rival Marvel.
Right.
Otherwise, we got problems here. I mean, we got problems already, but we're going to have more problems.
So what do you guys think?
Did you see Suicide Squad? Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just okay? Please let us know down below or anywhere on the internet. We are on pretty much every social media platform you can think of.
And don't forget, if you like watching live stuff, check out Wulff Den Live every single Wednesday night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And use the hashtag on Twitter, Wulff Den Live, spelled correctly, to talk to us. And we will answer your questions, comments, or concerns live.
And if you miss it,
podcast.
Don't worry. You can catch the archive version on Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on YouTube or on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Just like the one we put up yesterday, which is all about what we thought what we were expecting going into Suicide Squad.
Yes.
So check that out. It'll be in a little annotation coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Just a second. Thank you guys very much.
Have a good one.
Oh, and our little thing about Batman, our little reaction of Batman vs Superman.
Yes, we did do a reaction to Batman vs Superman.
That'll be in a card.
Yeah.
It's probably on the screen already.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow. Goodbye.
Bye.